Hey y'all, it's Sharon with southernbellahome.com and it's Monday morning and I have a lot to do. I thought I might take you along with me. I just need to catch up on a number of things, so I thought they might be of interest to you as I go throughout my day. Saturday we got out and we worked in our raised bed garden. We pulled weeds that were between the beds. We had quite the job pulling those up. My husband got out there and helped me, which was a huge bonus because I thought I would be doing all of that by myself this week. And while we were out there, I took the opportunity to go ahead and harvest some things that were ready in the winter garden. I have cabbage that I need to process, some turnip roots that I need to peel and process, a harvest of carrots, a good little bundle of leeks to pull out, and on top of that, I have some beef fat that I'm going to render, and I've been waiting on this beef fat to come. I put an order in with my local farmer probably 3 or 4 months ago. And so when they called me about 3 weeks ago and told me that it was ready, I was so excited. So I have to cut this up and get it in my crock pot and put it in the outdoor kitchen, which is how I like to do lard and tallow and things like that, because it can smell up the house pretty bad and no one enjoys that. So I'm gonna chop this. We have quite a bit to do, so let's get started and let's make this a productive day. We're gonna get so much done today.
Here on our homestead, we don't raise our own beef yet, but fortunately we have a friend who is a local farmer and he raises organically raised, grass-fed beef and pork, and so I'm able to get some beef fat that I can feel really good about it and know how the animal was fed and taken care of. So all I have to do to prepare this and get it started is just use my kitchen shears and my serrated knife and get this cut up into little pieces, get it in the crock pot, and get the crock pot out to the outdoor kitchen and get it plugged in and let it start melting. And I have great plans for all the things I'm going to be using this beef tallow for. I've already bought the supplies and done some research for making candles and soap. And of course, I will make videos and blog posts about it, and I'll take you along with me on the journey as I learn to do these old skills. And those 2 bags of beef fat ended up giving me about 3/4 of a crock pot full.
So I've never brought you all out here to my outdoor kitchen before. I'm going to be doing a video all about our little outdoor kitchen and my wood cook stove. But I like to bring my crock pot out here to render lard and tallow because, like I said, the smell can get really strong. What I like to do when I'm rendering an animal fat, I like to have a jar out here and a ladle. And I come out very often and I go ahead and I take off the fat as it liquefies. Because the longer that you leave that liquid fat in with the cracklings, the stronger the flavor and the darker the color will be. So the quicker that you can get that liquid out and stop cooking it, once it's melted, it's done. So once it melts, you ladle it out of there, put it into your jar, stick your lid on, and every time you come out, you just ladle off whatever has already melted. That's how I learned to do it. So we're about to get this crock pot cranked up, and before you know it, it's gonna start melting into beautiful beef tallow that we can use for soaps and anything else we wanna make, candles.
In my opinion, a good homestead meal can be as simple as scrambled eggs with some sauteed leeks. Yum! It is so good. If you've never had it, you need to try it. And so on our homestead, I've tried to plan for not only growing our own food, but things to season our food as well. And leeks are one of those things that my husband grew up with, and so I really wanted to try to grow some this year. I have quite a few still growing out in the garden, but I harvested just a few to go ahead and get some processed and to make some way for some spring plantings. If you've never grown leeks, they trap dirt inside of all the layers. So the first thing you have to do after you've given them an initial rinse, you have to go ahead and slice them in half before you start cutting them into pieces. What I typically do is slice the leek in half, cut it into pieces, and then immediately drop it into a bowl of cool water. The dirt will fall to the bottom of the bowl, and then I rinse the leeks off, put them through a strainer, and redo this process about 3 times of soaking and straining to make sure that I get all of the dirt out of the leek. To use these leeks, I am planning on freezing some, putting some in the refrigerator in a brine, and then saving some for a stir fry tonight for dinner. When the leeks are in the bowl of water, you can stir with your hand to help the leeks release the dirt. In order to process the turnip roots, I'm just going to cut both ends off, and then I will peel them, and some of them I will slice and some of them I will cut into little cubes. I'm going to be using some of them tonight in the stir fry that I'm going to do on our Black Stone Grill out in the outdoor kitchen. I tell you what, if you don't have a Black Stone Grill, I think it's a great addition to the homestead because it makes making dinner so quick and easy, and it's really just fun to use too. The turnips are tiny. Some of them are littler than others, but they're going to be fine for what I'm going to be using them for. And if you've never had a fall garden, basically, you plant stuff and you just leave it. I mean, it just grows and grows and grows with no help at all. And these little turnip roots are the last ones. I had already harvested quite a bit of turnip roots, and I had mashed them and roasted them and done several things, but these were the tail end, but I didn't want to let anything go to waste. So no matter how small they are, I'm processing them and we're going to eat them, and they will be good. You can cut these up into pieces or slices. Either one will be fine for a stir fry, and I think this little bowl full is going to be just enough for us to have for dinner tonight. What is a homestead kitchen without some jars of sauerkraut sitting out and fermenting, right? Well, that's the plans that I have for most of this cabbage that we harvested this weekend. This was one of those things that I planted in the fall, pretty much just forgot about, and I go out and there's cabbage. I love a fall garden. It's just so easy. But anyway, today what I'm doing is I'm just shredding up the cabbage by hand, just as fine as I can, and I'm putting it over in a big bowl while I do it. I'll save a couple of the big leaves to use at the top of my jars to keep the brine down below the surface. And then after I get everything all chopped up, I will begin the process of helping the cabbage to release its juices so that it can begin to ferment. When I'm chopping the cabbage, I always cut the cores out because they are just really hard and they never really get to a soft enough point that they are enjoyable to eat. So I recommend that you just go ahead and cut the cores out. You'll be much happier with your finished product if you do that. Well, it seemed like a little bit of work, but we got 3 jars of sauerkraut out of that bowl of cabbage, and I'm very happy with that. Now to go check on that tallow rendering outside. I think it's looking pretty good. As you can see, I've already filled up 1 quart jar and I'm working on the second. And I really believe that at the end of the day, I'll end up with at least 2 quarts of beef tallow, maybe more. And I'm really happy with that. At the end of the summer growing season last year, I still had some tomatoes that were producing, so I have learned a little bit about companion planting, and I knew that carrots and tomatoes enjoy growing next to each other, so I thought I would scatter a few carrot seeds out, and they germinated, and I ignored them all winter, and yet they kept growing. And even though these are not mature and they're more of a little fingerling carrot like you would see at a fancy restaurant on a beautiful plate of food, we will enjoy them. As a matter of fact, I will use some of them tonight in the stir fry that I'm making, and the rest I may even make a carrot cake because they're so sweet and tender. I think they would be really good for that. Or I may just use them in a salad. Not sure yet, but either way, they're just a bonus that I really was not expecting to get, and I'm excited to have them, and we're going to be enjoying them tonight. They're going to be good.
Well, sweet peas, I have taken my list and checked it twice, and I think that this homestead day is complete. I think we got it all done. We got the beef tallow rendered, we got the cabbage chopped and turned into sauerkraut, we got the carrots, the turnips, and the leeks all chopped, and I reserved some of the cabbage, and then I took it and all those other veggies, a jar of chicken from our home-raised chickens that I had canned, some of our home-raised eggs, and some rice that I had canned, and I turned it all into a stir fry. I made a sauce for it, kind of like a barbecue sauce, but with some orange marmalade and ginger and garlic added to it, and then I tossed everything in that after it came off of the Black Stone Griddle, and the family loved it. It was really, really tasty. So if you all would like to have a more in-depth recipe of that dish, just comment below and let me know, and I can try to make a video and a blog post giving you the details for that dish, because like I said, it's really tasty. And I hope y'all enjoyed all of the homestead happenings today, and if you enjoyed the content, I wish that you would consider subscribing to our channel, because I'm really trying to grow my channel and my blog this year. And if you subscribe and like and comment, all those things really, really help me. So thank you so much, friends, and I look forward to the next video. See y'all soon, and until then, keep home sweet, make beauty where you can, and may the good Lord bless and keep you till we talk again. Bye, y'all.